And welcome back to the Market Wolf, where I give you the best bear case, the best bull case, and I give you my opinion. And it might appear that I was wrong for my prediction yesterday and my opinion. And you know what? I might be. However, as you can see, and what I said yesterday, I said it might not happen tomorrow. We might get that major move up the following day because I knew we could still potentially consolidate further. Part of the reason to consolidate further is to alleviate the RSI down here. Notice that every time we have a move up, a major break up, what's happening? The RSI is at really the lowest end of the spectrum here. Usually we're hitting around 30 or below 30. Look where we are right now. We touched 30. Now, are we gonna, bounce and retrace back off of that moving average? Sure, it's possible. What could happen here for the bull case? I'm going to go over the bull case first for tomorrow, and then I will go over the bear case. And then I will give you my opinion. The bull case, I believe, is that you get back up inside. See, this to me looks like, if you look here, like starting right about here, tough for me to see because my finger's in the way, maybe there, and you move here, here, here. This is a very small W reversal. If we were to go to the lower time frames, you would see it quite clearly. Now, if we get back inside this symmetrical triangle, this purple and blue symmetrical triangle, that is very bullish, okay? So that's something to look for. That also means we would pierce this moving average on the RSI down here. And you know what? Then we could get very bullish if we get on top of this, and we could see that major run up. Remember, there's a lot of corporations and the bigs that are caught long in the market up here at some of these higher levels. And let me tell you, they would sure like to see some of their money back. Now, part of the way they can do that is if they're like yesterday, I was super convinced we were going to break up. I was so convinced. I'm hardly ever that convinced. I was so convinced that, it would have been one of those times where I would have considered taking out a leveraged position long. Well, what happens? They take out the longs, right? Even though it looked perfect. This really was a perfect setup. If we don't see, and that'll get into my opinion in a minute. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But anyway, so that's the bull case partially. I want to take you for the bull case out to the higher time frames because I want to look at the daily on this just to show you that when you look at the daily, the RSI is basically at average, okay? It's average right now. It could come down a little further. It could. That makes way and clears room for a move up. Remember, we're in a consolidation phase right now. We are currently below the 20-day. Not a bullish sign at all, right? So things don't look particularly bullish on the daily. However, one thing I want you to notice is that on the daily time frame, within this consolidation phase, the volume profile, and here, of course, yes, it's chop, right? But look generally at what's been happening since about, let's call it Tuesday the 2nd. Exiting volume has generally been decreasing. Yes, we had a brief increase here, but it's decreasing. So we have decreasing exiting volume mostly. Now we also have decreasing incoming volume. Okay, well, one of those has to win out eventually. And I think what you're seeing here on this consolidation phase is the RSI clearing out so that we can have a monster move, a monster break to the upside here before we have the final breakdown in the market. Now, I want to take you to not only the daily, but let's just take a look at the weekly here. And you can see on the weekly, we still have the 20-day moving average. We're still on the beginning on the weekly of a bullish cross. We're still running about average on the RSI. We have decreasing exiting volume. Okay, this, you have to pay attention to this. We have decreasing price on decreasing exiting volume. Eventually, we might get a lift up. So that is your bull case. I want to be very clear on that. That is your bull case, and there's other things we could go over, but that'll make the video too long. I think you essentially get the point. Now, I'll talk to you about the bear case. The bear case, essentially within the market, is that you had bad earnings today in some places, especially we heard about Home Depot, right? So, look, if those, let's just call them generally market makers, even though it's not the right term, if the market makers can't lure entities back into the market in order to drive it up so they can get out of their own long positions, eventually those machines are going to start selling at some point. Now, I would imagine there might be some market trickery where they might take out the shorts first when it looks like it's going to break, and you might interpret this as breaking, and there might be people trying to short the market tomorrow and they might get wiped out. Same thing for people like me who thought, well, I might go long, right? They like to get you on both ends, especially in these consolidation phases with this chop. So you really have to know what you're looking at. But, you know, we could get a rejection off that RSI and go down. And here's the thing. Here's what you have to look for on the bear case. If you can see, we have a number of symmetrical triangles here. We were in that blue symmetrical first. Now we're in like this blue purple one I drew out here, right? We're trying to get back inside of it. I could draw another one right here very easily. Okay, I'm not going to do that because we want to watch this case right here for now. But look, the only way you can get really bearish off of this right now in this consolidation phase is if we break 409.13. If we break 409.13, your whole consolidation is coiling up and tightening where you're ready to get a serious break. It's over. It's over at that point, and you better start watching for a serious breakdown. Okay? Now, do I see that potential on the volume? Well, you know, on the 30-minute, we certainly had a lot of exiting volume today. Okay? And, of course, things could ramp back up. But, you know, it's tough to really get an idea on the MACD or anywhere else right now of what might happen on the bear case until we really break that level. I mean, if you really start to see, you look at the MACD on the times we really have had serious breakdowns. Look at it this time. I mean, it looks more of like a consolidation and not a major breakdown. Like we're trying to do something else here. And I know I'm kind of making the bull case right now, but you know, as far as the bear case goes, it depends on volume. Yeah, you could totally wind down here and that could be it. And like I said, you break 409.13, I would be watching out for some major moves to the downside. Now, you could have a quick wick below that to get some people out of the way and clear some room before you come back up. But ultimately, you would be headed down at that point. And this market is ready to break. Let's be honest. We know what's actually happening out there. We're at the bottom of market cycle, et cetera, et cetera. You've heard me talk about that in other casts. If you haven't, go back and look. I want to take you to the 1 week now and then the month. So look, on the bear case for this, you can see on the MACD, you know, we're beginning to possibly really cool off here and maybe begin a trend down. In fact, you can see that up here on the weekly. You've got a very high wick here. We could be in the middle of continuing this trend to the downside. And if we break, let's call it, yeah, if we break that level I was talking about earlier, let's see, I want to be perfect, 407.67. If we break that, then you could see a very fast ride down on the weekly time frame. You could be coming back down inside of this red right here. And if we get back down inside of this area where we traded for so long, I would say start watching for a major breakdown in the market, major bleed out, much further than we ever went before. Okay, so that's part of the bear case there. Now, you know, we can't say much on the RSI. It could break there, but it hasn't yet. And, you know, we can't ignore the bull case here either, because again, you look at this is a kind of a bull flag, okay? It's definitely not a bear flag, right? I mean, we can at least see we've gone up. This is a consolidation phase, so we can't ignore that if we're trying to make the bear case. We have to watch these other variables on the weekly in the long term. Let's take a look at the 1 month. And of course, I think your case on the 30-minute time frame is obvious. I'm not even going to go back there because, yeah, things are breaking down. We've had a bearish cross on the 30-minute time frame. But remember, your higher time frames generally hold more weight in the long term. So if you look at the 1 month here, we're still holding the 20-day. And right now, we're still flagging. That could continue. I mean, we haven't really broken through the 20-day. And in fact, on the monthly, on the MACD, we are, take that back. We are beginning to cool down. Was this 1 month right here, or will this 1 month continue to just be some blow off and then we just skyrocket up? I don't know. You know, there's nothing particularly bearish that I'm seeing here right now. It could go to the bear side in the long term. It certainly could, and it's something we have to continue to watch. So I think you know what my opinion is based on this. Right now, as it stands, yes, we should have a major break up looking at the chart. However, know where we are in the market generally out there. This could literally break down in a matter of moments if the machines just start selling, because they can't really get more buyers to step in. It's going to take volume. Either way, I think at this point we are going to see, coming up soon, very soon. I don't know precisely when, but it sure seems like it's going to be soon. We are going to have a move up or a massive move down. And we need to be ready for that and watching it. Right now on the higher time frames, I'm just not seeing any moves to the downside. Again, we know where the market is though. It's a shite show out there. It really is. We're at the bottom of a market cycle, and layoffs are just getting started, to be honest. And we're behind. The Fed has used really all that it can. The only thing it's got left is the market desk, right? So that's your bear case, that's your bull case, that's my opinion. Be ready, be mindful, be watching. I will post updates throughout the day on the community section. Please feel free to interact there, comment. Please comment on the video, subscribe, share. I don't ask you to do that very much. I usually just put up graphics, but please, if you're a long-time listener, please consider sharing this content out there. I can't do a lot of self-promotion. I don't have time for it. I have time to give you information, and it sure would be helpful for me if you would go ahead and share this and like it. So we'll see you next time on The Market Wolf.